The great unifier. It reaches out to those who are left behind much easier than any other. So we need to use this instrument. As our colleague from Bhutan Central Bank said, the use of QR code in Bhutan. The great unifier. It had elevated the poorest of the smallest segment of the economic participants, players, into the broader playing ground. From remote areas as partner in the whole national engagement in trade, in exchange of money, in whole financial inclusion process. So this is something that we need to use for our future inclusion journey. We know that every country in South Asia is a great region. It has significant economic realized potential already. Total GDP will be more than $4 billion and maybe crossing 5 very shortly. And one of the fastest growing region after East Asia. And we can overtake East Asia if we focus on our respective development. So, but at the same time, this is a region which is not integrated among itself, among its member countries. If you look at the trade statistics, only 5-6% of trade is within our region. Rest of our trade is rest of the world. That doesn't speak volume. Typically, in most regions, the trade, highest share of the trade is from within the region. If you look at European Union, if you look at ASEAN, if you look at NAFTA, huge volume of trade within the region. But we have not done it yet. But we shouldn't give up. This is something that must continue. And you see, the finance and economics are, again, this is one big unifier. People can fight. Politicians can fight. But the trade can still happen. What is the example of that? A good example is, if you look at Taiwan and China, if you look at Japan and China, if you look at ASEAN as a group, if you look at most of these countries, or many of these countries, even in the historically, they may be fighting each other, but their economic businesses, trade, and all those old kapelas and things are going everywhere. So, I think finance and trade is something that should overcome the political challenges and move forward because of integration of people. Coming back to the story of financial inclusion, we know that each of our member countries, SAARC countries, have very good experience in their respective, in certain areas of financial inclusion. Bangladesh's mobile financial service framework serving more than 25 million users is an example. India's Jan Dhan Yojana has brought millions into the formal banking system. We have heard the story of Bhutan. Nepal's community-based microfinance models also empower rural women. Pakistan's digital banking reforms are accelerating SME access. Maldives' mobile banking, digital wallets and fintech startups reshape the country's financial landscape. We all have good stories to tell, good examples to share with each other and learn from each other. As our governor from Bhutan just said, the mountain people, rural small sellers using QR code in country. At That's an example that shows that I really think that we have not utilized our QR code system as well. We have not been successful in reaching out to the last mile or last units of the operation of the economy, like stores, service providers. All of them are still not digitally doing their transactions. That's why our cash demand is still kind of, every year the demand for cash is going at almost double-digit level. Why? Because those QR codes are not in history. We have to revisit those issues. We have to look at where we have not succeeded or where we can learn and then adapt our approaches, modify our ways of doing things to reach out and include those transactions into the digital transaction. This is to be done, and we learn from each other. Every country has a lot to share. Share their experience, share their financial journey, share the experience of the turbulent period. Just now, before this meeting, we discussed among ourselves, and we agreed that some of our countries, like Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, we all had gone through difficult times in recent months and years. And we need to document that, where we went wrong, how difficult it was, and how we came out of it, and what is the lesson of that for each country. And then share it among ourselves, because we can learn from each other's experience. And we can then use that learning for addressing future or avoiding future crises in the economy. The economy crisis is something that you cannot, you can say, it's over. No. You have to always remain in guard, remain alert about prospective problems emerging in the horizon and address it at the earliest. If you don't do it, we'll get back into financial crisis again and again. So, nobody can say that this is over. Nobody can say that my inflation is at 2% or 3% and so I'm done. No. Maintaining that 2%, 3%, 4% inflation level, which already Sri Lanka and Pakistan has achieved, after a very high cost, very costly journey, has to be protected in future as well. Same thing will apply for Bangladesh. We are in the middle of our journey to reduce inflation. We have done some progress, we have made, we have more progress to be made, but once it is done, it is not over. There is no scope for complacency. We have to do things to protect it. Our policymakers, politicians, our technocrats, bureaucrats, everybody should be aware of making economic policies and formulating our strategies. What needs to be taken? There is no substitute for continued macroeconomic stability. That's it. That's a precondition for any economy, every economy in the world. And that has to be protected if you want to maintain our journey for economic growth. Coming back to our such initiatives and so on, I think a lot of things can be done, and on the technology front also, a lot of initiatives can be undertaken. Some of the issues that was been proposed to bridge the gap is to create or establish such fintech sandbox, where startups and regulators test solutions across markets, speed up safe innovation. joint financial literacy programs can also be thought of. Because our experience in each country about financial literacy may be different. We need to share each other's performance, policies, steps, and so on. For example, in Bangladesh, we just have here the MDs of many of our banks. We know that central bank has issued a circular that every bank must adapt one high school. Every high school should be adapted by one bank. Every student should have small bank account. This is a way to reach out to them. This is a way to educate them about financial practices, transactions, how to do it, how to maintain balance accounts, this, that. This is the way to also, for the banks, to enlist a client for his life or his or her lifetime journey. So they can remain a committed customer of your bank hereafter. So all of the children will grow up and they become adult workers, workforce in the country, participants in the economy. So start with them, build it up. Let's see how it goes. We have take initiative, for example, with respect to agent banking, and we expect your support in that also, that every new agent, 50% has to be women. The first reason is that we want to reduce the gap, gender gap in financial inclusion. It's a major challenge. If you want to reach out to the rural women, overcome the religious and social barrier, we need another women to reach out to them in their kitchen, in their bedrooms, and enlist them with a tap in the financial system. So we believe that we have to look at every little corner. There is no single silver bullet for financial inclusion. Absolutely not. We have to work on every channels of access. And the channels are many. And new channels will be coming. What are those channels? For example, we all know that. Agent banking is one. Microcredit is another. Mobile financial system and the nano loans that they are going to give and they are giving to some extent will be another one. Digital banking is going to be starting very shortly. That will be another one. So there are many channels and we are also using the use of credit cards. The Google Pay is here now, for example, the Tap and Go will be available here as well. So we are trying to popularize every mode of transactions and digital as far as we can. We hope that journey will be successful, and we know that our SAARC member countries have lots of success in many areas, and we can all learn from that. Like, for example, the common QR code thing that Bhutan has used. I don't know what the QR code mechanism we are using, but certainly this is an issue. If we are not doing it with the common QR code, we should start thinking about it and see whether that is applicable. So there are always issues and things that we can learn from each other, and SAARC Forum is such a mechanism to share our thoughts, exchange our views, and at the technical level, at the policy making level, and take our shared journey forward. We all believe in South Asia, the prospect of South Asia, the future of South Asia. We have to realize that prospect in that future. Well, thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you, sir, for your...
আমি একটু বাংলা একটু বলবো, just for our request from our media people. I'll take 2-3 minutes. Basically, আমি যেটা বলতে চাচ্ছিলাম সেটা হচ্ছে যে আমরা এখানে সমবেত হয়েছি যেটা হচ্ছে যে সার্চ ফাইন্যান্স গভর্নর্স মিটিং, এবং এটা হচ্ছে 47তম মিটিং। এটা ইন্ডিকেট করে যে at the level of the central bank there is a continuity of dialogue. আমরা আলোচনা করছি, আমরা পলিসি ইস্যু নিয়ে ডিবেট করছি, আমরা শেয়ার করছি একজন আরেকজনের এক্সপিরিয়েন্স এবং ডাটা ইত্যাদি, এবং আমরা চেষ্টা করছি যে সাউথ এশিয়ার একটা সম্মিলিত একটা অর্থনৈতিক অঞ্চলের মধ্যে যতটুকু সম্ভব সামঞ্জস্যতা আনা বা হারমোনাইজেশন যেটাকে আমরা বলি, এবং একই সাথে ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল ইন্টিগ্রেশনটাকে নিয়ে আসা। এবারের কথোপকথন বিষয় হচ্ছে ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল ইন্টিগ্রেশন, অর্থাৎ অন্তর্ভুক্তিমূলক আর্থিক ব্যবস্থা। এটা আমাদের একটা বড় চ্যালেঞ্জ। সাউথ এশিয়াতে প্রায় আমি কি বলবো, মানে 25 একটা বড় অংশ পপুলেশনের এখনো আন্ডার সার্ভ, দে আর নট উইদিন দ্য ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল নেটওয়ার্ক অফ দ্য ব্যাংক। তাদেরকে আনাটা একটা বড় চ্যালেঞ্জ, এবং এটা আমরা দেখেছি যে প্রত্যেকটা দেশে সাউথ এশিয়ার তারা বিভিন্নভাবে তাদের প্রচেষ্টা চালিয়ে যাচ্ছে, এবং এক ক্ষেত্রে বাংলাদেশ ভালো করছে, আরেক দেশের ক্ষেত্রে ভুটান ভালো করছে, ভারত ভালো করছে। প্রত্যেকের কাছ থেকেই কিছু গুড এক্সাম্পলস আমরা পাচ্ছি, এবং সেই এক্সাম্পলগুলোকে আমরা এই ফোরামে শেয়ার করার চেষ্টা করছি, এবং সেটার মাধ্যমে বেস্ট প্র্যাকটিস যে দেশেরই করুক না কেন সেটাকে কিন্তু আমরা অ্যাডাপ্ট করি। সেটাই আমাদের লক্ষ্য। এই অনুষ্ঠানটা চলবে, শুরু হলো আজকে, এবং পরবর্তীতে বেশ কিছু তথ্য ভিত্তিক রিসার্চ রিপোর্ট এবং প্রতিবেদন পেশ করা হবে, সেগুলো আলোচনা হবে, সেটার ভিত্তিতে কিছু সিদ্ধান্ত হবে, এবং এটার ফলো আপ। এবারে আমরা হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশ হচ্ছে এই কমিটির চেয়ার, ফলে আমাদের একটা এক্সট্রা দায়িত্ব আছে। আমরা এটাকে হোস্ট করছি এখানে, এবং পরবর্তীতে ওয়াশিংটনে আবার এটাকে আমরা হোস্ট করব। আমরা এটা ওয়াশিংটনের বিষয়ে আলোচনা কি হবে সেটাকে নিয়েও আমরা আলোচনা করেছি, এবং আমরা চেষ্টা করছি যে আমাদের মধ্যে এই বিভিন্ন সেন্ট্রাল ব্যাংকের মধ্যে একটা সমন্বয় করা, এক্সচেঞ্জ করা বিভিন্নভাবে, এবং সেই প্রক্রিয়াটাই একটা চলমান প্রক্রিয়া। এই মুহূর্তে দায়িত্বটা আমাদের উপর, আগামীতে আমরা আরেকটা সার্ক মেম্বার কান্ট্রি এই দায়িত্বভার গ্রহণ করব, এবং সেইভাবে এটা রোটেশনে চলবে। তো আমি যেটা মনে করি যে আমরা পরস্পরের কাছ থেকে শিখতে পারবো, এবং সেই শিক্ষার জিনিসগুলো নিয়েই আলোচনা করাটাই হচ্ছে আমাদের লক্ষ্য। ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল ইনোভেশন, ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল ইনক্লুশন, এগুলোতে যে এক্সপিরিয়েন্সটা আমরা গ্যাদার করছি সাউথ এশিয়াতে অ্যাজ এ ডেভেলপিং কান্ট্রি, এভরি কান্ট্রি হ্যাজ এক্সপিরিয়েন্স, যেটা সবার জন্য শিক্ষণীয় বিষয় নিয়ে আসে, সেটাকেই আমরা আলোচনা করি, এবং সেটা যেটা বাংলাদেশের জন্য প্রয়োজন সেটা আমরা গ্রহণ করব, অন্য দেশের জন্য যেটা প্রয়োজন সেটা তারা গ্রহণ করবে। এটাই আমাদের লক্ষ্য। তো আমরা আশা করব যে আমাদের মধ্যে যে পার্থক্যটুকু থাকুক না কেন, সেন্ট্রাল ব্যাংক পর্যায়ে আমাদের যে তথ্যের আদান প্রদান, আমাদের যে গবেষণামূলক কার্যক্রমের যৌথ উদ্যোগ, আমাদের যে উচ্চ পর্যায়ে গভর্নর্স লেভেলের যে আলোচনা, সেগুলো কিন্তু চলতে থাকবে, এবং সেইটা যেন ব্যাহত না হয়, এবং এটা একটা সামগ্রিক ইন্টিগ্রেশনে একটা ভূমিকা রাখবে, এটাই আমি ধন্যবাদ।
Thank you, sir, for your valuable and insightful remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to draw your kind attention in handing over the token of appreciation